everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited and also a bit sad while I give you Cities Skylines 2 review. I will talk about what's new in this game, how the game feels, looks, sounds, and last but not least, performance. You can skip to any section you want, but I suggest you watch the entire video. I was very hyped about this when I found out it's coming out, as I love the first installment of the game that came out 8 or so years ago. While many people say it's only fair to compare Cities Skylines 2 with the first vanilla game, I kinda disagree, as the features that were added to the first game have at least half the work already done for this game, and would have been easier to implement in the second one, compared with a full feature developed first time for the second installment. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's fair to compare games in their initial states, as this second game should have a lot of shit that's already done for the first game, with new 3D models and textures to accommodate for the new visual style Colossal Order adopted. On the flip side, they are a small company with 30 employees, and had around 10 people when the first game was released, making the two games even more impressive. To start off, I list here some of the changes and additions over the first game. Cinematic and free camera mode. These are cool additions to the game, but in my opinion, until this runs smooth and the graphical issues described later in this review, it has no place in the game really. The devs didn't cut corners this time around, they added the highly requested subscribe to my channel button. Thank God it's here, I highly recommend you abuse that feature. Map themes. In this game, you can pick from either North American or European themes. The roads don't mix these styles, meaning you are stuck with the one you choose for your entire playthrough. But when you zone residential or commercial, you can switch freely between them, making for a more diverse city, even if the styles don't always match. While not many can enjoy seasons as devs intended because they need to scale down the video settings, they look mostly cool, with a few exceptions. Winter looks a bit meh. Climate is also present in this game. In-game maps being based around real-world locations. For example, River Delta is Shanghai, China. Seasons and climate combined will affect the way NPCs act and how energy consumption is measured, making the simulation better. Building upgrades. This feature is cool, I love it. Instead of unlocking a new version of the same service building, in this game you can upgrade those to make them more useful. New progression system. Compared with the first game, this new progression system is just better, makes more sense and is more useful in general. In the first game, the milestones unlocked when you reached certain population sizes. Now they are unlocked by just playing the game. It feels like everything you do pushes you towards unlocking the next milestone. Then this gives you points to unlock new options or buildings, allowing you to focus development in certain directions. Better AI. I'm not gonna lie, the social media thingy annoys me a lot. It's a nice way to find out what works and what doesn't work with your city, but as I dislike social media in general, I dislike it in this game also. But this is a boomer thing perhaps, and maybe nobody cares. I just wanted to take this off my chest. What's cool about the AI is the fact that you can follow certain individuals and witness their daily routines and activities until they die. Mods now work on consoles too. I'm not happy about the fact that I will now need to create a Paradox account to be able to mod my game, and I'm not willing to do that in order for console people to have their mods. Sorry, these should be separate things. Let PC users mod their game through Steam Workshop, like in the past, and make this Paradox thingy for console users. Am I missing something here? Anyway, I'm happy if the tools are more accessible and easy to use, because this can bring only positive things. Economy and production. This game simulates a lot of stuff, from real life like economic models, to households and individual people, production of goods, extracting and the export of resources. Building tools. Tools like road building took some of the innovative ideas from mods and programmed them directly into the game, making road creation better, easier and more precise. I would have loved the ability to pick what building gets built in any given zone, I'd love that kind of control, as with the current system you often end up with the same building built multiple times next to each other, making your skyline look bad. To make it look varied and cool, you need to zone in specific sizes, as in some sizes at least the game lacks variation. For example, 4x4 tiles might have only 3 possible buildings being built with different colors. But still, if they are skyscrapers, it looks bad. You generally don't want that. For small houses it's okay as it is, but the bigger the building is, more variation is necessary. Map size is 5 times bigger. You can unlock a lot of tiles in your playthrough, but some of the buildings take a lot of space, especially service buildings. The area you can work with is still a lot bigger. Other than these new features, the gameplay is solid enough, as you probably know from the first installment, making this one a worthy successor. I find this game easy to pick up and play. I disabled the tutorials and just did what my citizen wanted, if I could. That's it. If you know the basics like making grids, taking pollution into account, wind direction and stuff like that, you can let the happiness meter and your budget guide you and shouldn't have any issues playing the game. Until your nuclear power plant, for some reason I didn't even figure out, fills up with shit. It was connected to everything from water to sewage, but for some reason it doesn't work to this day. One small thing that annoys me is the fact that cranes are used even if you zone with low density, making it look funny in my opinion. Districts are cool and I see a lot of possibilities if you make them like a normal human being. I just made a big one for the sake of it and that was it. A good mayor would create many small districts, enabling him to assign services to the districts that make sense. Say you have 2 police stations in 2 different parts of town. If you have more districts, you can tell cops to say and serve a specific one, so they don't end up going all the way to the other side of town. And that is advised with schools, fire stations, medical clinics and so on. I knew I'll scrap this town after the review is done and I'll make a well planned out city off screen, if you will, taking my time and plan stuff and make it look pretty. So don't judge the layout I display in this review. So nothing else to add, to be honest. The game is intuitive and for the most part easy to follow. Now we end up at the bad part of this review: performance. Whew. Okay, let's go. I applaud the fact that the developers came out and said, yeah, we know the performance is shit and we'll work tirelessly to fix this issue. In the meantime, here's some tips to improve the FPS on your hardware. And they said it before release. Guys, they've said it, most of the reviewers said it. I was happy even the people who got the review copies early said it. I don't say I blame the victim here because they bought a game that didn't work as expected on their PC, but it was everywhere, god damn it, and you still choose to buy it. Did you expect some sort of miracle, divine intervention, perhaps a magical day one patch? Of course it will run like shit on your PC. What I'm trying to say, Colossal Order and Paradox is to blame for the state of the game for sure, because they released it in this state, but please stop buying shit when people tell you to wait and see. Wait a couple of patches, a month, 6 months. If you see everyone raging about the FPS, I don't get this. Reviews by people with 4090s, with half an hour of playtime, thumbing the game down. I will say it right now, even if I get flack for it, because those people either shamelessly lie, they either want to farm them clowns on Steam, or they rage because they expected 500 FPS because they got a 4090. This game offers good scalability if you choose the advanced graphical settings. A lot of sliders show up letting you customize your game. I bet many of those people just pull the sliders all the way to the right, thinking their godly $5K machines should be able to pull it off. Well, shit, spoiler alert, I don't think there's a setup on this planet that can run the game with 100 constant FPS in 2K or 4K. Sad but true. This is the reality. This game is badly optimized. Now that I bashed the 11 viewers that clicked on this looking to confirm their bias, let me continue telling you, my remaining 4 viewers, my thoughts on performance. I'm pretty confident it will get fixed, at least partially, as the developers seem serious enough and they didn't try to hide shit under the rug like CDPR and others did with their state of the game they were supposed to release in a few days or weeks, and kept saying everything is alright. The fact that they allowed people to speak freely speaks volumes to me. I was even stunned one of my favorite reviewers got a review copy. What a buy. If that guy gets a review copy, I think the developers have balls of steel, colossal balls in this case, and shows me their confidence in their product and the commitment on fixing the issues. So for the last time, the information about the performance was everywhere, even before the release. People who bought this should take at least some accountability. So if the performance is a concern to you, or if you want to pull all sliders to the max and expect the game to work, don't buy this. Hold off until you hear it works better. If you're willing to disable and tweak the graphical options until it works, kudos to you. And then you can buy it, of course. You'll figure out in the 2 hours of grace if it works on your system or not. So just refund if it's not satisfying or it doesn't meet your personal expectations. I for one hate playing my games on anything other than high quality settings, but I'm more than willing to tinker with the options. If that doesn't make my game look like ass, I'm okay with lowering some of the options. And to be honest, nobody even notices differences in most situations between medium and high. Yeah, it's pretty obvious if you reduce the load distances, for example, but I don't believe you notice everything when you disable every feature or pull the slider a bit to the left. So, if you got the game after all, and you give it a spin and runs like ass, you could try disabling VSync, motion blur and depth of field. Reduce or disable volumetrics and GI settings and test it again. If it works, good. If it doesn't, refund it, then that's that. In my case, I got a 2K monitor and the second one that's 1080p. If I move the game window on that one, the performance is good with stuff maxed out. But let's face it, who the fuck buys a 4090 and plays in 1080p? Am I right? Tell me in the comments if you are such a weird person so we can donate some money and buy you at least a 2K monitor. On my other PC with a 3060, the performance is shit in 2K. I mean, I got 40-ish FPS at the start of the city on medium settings with constant stutters that made me want to Alt F4. No capture software on that PC, so you need to take my word for it. The game generally looks okay on high-end PC, but even then, with textures and more stuff on high, it starts to look like shit from certain angles or distances. It's like the lowest mid-maps and the lowest LOD models are forcefully loaded. This is the other reason I didn't even try the cinematic camera thingy. Textures and models look okay if you toy around with the camera angle and keep moving until the game finally catches on and displays the proper load and high-res textures. Oh, and the foliage forgets to display the alpha channel, so you end up with bushes and trees when you are on the street level especially that looks like shit. There are cool options like GI and volumetric fog and stuff, but I also disabled them when I reached, I don't know, 30,000 population because the frame rate went down to 40s by that point. And to end this section, I personally wouldn't have problems with the FPS if the game didn't look like shit at times. What I'm trying to say is, for me at least, FPS needs to feel justified. Zooming in ended up with disappointment every fucking time. Sometimes looks good, sometimes looks like ass. Before you fix the FPS, guys, please fix this first, for me. Sound overall is nice. If I'd had a complaint, is the fact that the sound's volume fades too fast. If you fly by a building that generates a lot of noise, like a nuclear power plant for example, the sounds fade too fast, in and out. That might be the case with every sound in the game, but it's obvious in certain cases. As I played with music off because of copyright is a thing, I only listened to a few tracks when I played on my second PC, and music sounds cool. In the end, the sound mixing is cool when you are zoomed out building stuff or you are zoning, and it's cool when you are zoomed in following one of your citizens. Why do I seem I'm on the developer side this time, while most of the time I'm not, you might ask? Well, it's a small dev team that worked a lot on this game. As I said, they were upfront about the performance issues. In most cases, a game released in this state, they would have tried to hide it, and their track record is clean. I have no reason to suspect they will not come true. And finally, yeah, a game shouldn't come out in such a poor state, performance-wise, and who pushed it so early should have known better, and now should have to make the walk of shame before the rest of the employees, so they feel a bit better about the fact that they worked their ass off on a game for years to be rushed out the door like this. Because they all knew this backlash was coming, I'm pretty fucking sure, but watched helplessly as it happened against their will. So it pains me to say it, but I don't really recommend this game, even if my score is 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 by my logic would still be a passable game. These scores must reflect the reality, and the reality is this game wasn't ready for release. Someone at Colossal Order or Paradox thought they knew better, but they obviously didn't. And here we are. The game gets a solid 8 after they iron out the performance issues, and it can be way better than 6.5, hopefully within a month or two, because it's a shame if it stays like this for longer than that. And my score should hopefully raise some red flags to people who have weaker systems and make them do more research to try and find how the game runs on their specific setup. This is everything I got. I appreciate you for sticking with me until the end, and if you like this, you know what to do with that
subscribe button.
Hit it like you fucking mean it.
Take care, until the next time, see ya.